What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. So if there's anybody new in the chat, welcome to Bangin Gears. We don't do a lot of live streams, but because of the quarantine and everything, there you go. How you doing, Wildside? We don't usually do a lot of live streams, but you know, because all the car shows have been canceled for the most part so far. Try to keep everybody busy, try to keep everybody's mind off things. So we're going to be doing live streams for a while. Rock on, Wildside. So no topic is going to be off limits. So what do you guys want to talk about today? You've never done a live stream, Wildside, really? I've seen some of your stuff. I think you have a great personality. You'd probably be really good doing live streams. I'd be happy to do a live stream with you one day. Absolutely. Black Spring with Autumn. How are you doing? Good to see you. Congratulations. I believe you just put out a video saying you just hit 1,000 subscribers. Is that right? Or something to that effect? Yes, Wildside. This weekend I'm gonna set up StreamYard, so I'll be able to do the panel things, and I'm definitely going to start bringing a couple of people on and stuff like that. I am smoking a cigar, a Fratello. And I'd be happy to do that, but right now I'm not on StreamYard. I'm live streaming right from YouTube, and YouTube doesn't allow you to do that, I don't think. I think you have to have StreamYard. So next week I'll have StreamYard and I'll bring you on, I promise. So you did hit 1,000, Black Spring. So congratulations. Welcome to the club. And I appreciate that. I appreciate if you would help promote the channel. So again, while you're in here, guys, please don't forget to hit that like button or the dislike button, whichever one you want to press. Either one is perfectly fine. Your opinion matters. I'd love to hear it. And that's perfectly fine. You're not quite tapped for monetization, so you still need some hours? Stephen Smith, any comments on an air-cooled VW? Yes, Stephen. So my friend has one. It's amazing. He loves it. I've seen it. I have photographs on my phone. I'm proud to be a narcissist. So you have almost 10,000 minutes. So yeah, it took me about a year to get the hours. And live streaming early on helped. But that first year I tried to make, and I still do, I try to make a video a week and pump it out. Either the car shows inside or outside in the summer. But I always try to make a video. Sometimes they're how-to, sometimes they're about car shows. But I try to pump out a video every Thursday for a whole year. Plus, I threw in a couple of live streams, and it got me my hours pretty quick. I had my hours before I had my subs. So and I'll be honest, I appreciate that, Wild Side. I appreciate that a lot. But I don't go in. I go in a lot of growth streams, but I go because I know the people and I enjoy the conversation. I don't go in the growth streams to really grow anymore yourself about the process. But when it comes to growth streams, you get people to subscribe to your channel, but they never watch a video after that. And I'd rather have my subscriber list full of people that want to watch my content. So when I go in there, you want to sub to me, that's great. Doesn't mean I'm going to sub back if you're not promoting anything I'm not interested in. So I know I'm sub to you because I'm interested in what your content is. I'm subscribe to Wildside because I enjoy her content as well. But some of these other channels where they just go sub to sub, I usually try not to sub back anymore because to be honest, I'm not going to watch your content, and I know you're not going to watch my content. It's just there. And it really messes with your analytics. What's up, Chrysler Imperial? How are you doing, sir? Glad you made it in here tonight. Hope you're doing well, Chrysler. I appreciate you stopping in. So Wildside, you're in New Zealand, I think. Is that correct? See that? New Zealand. So how are things down there? Are things pretty crazy? Is the coronavirus running rampant down there? Exactly, and that's the way it should be. You know, so everybody says you have to do it the correct way. You have to go to that channel, watch a video, and leave a genuine comment, and that's great. But if you don't consistently do that, if you're doing it just the one time and then you never go back and watch any content of that guy's channel, it's just a sub. That's all it is. So, like I said, I'd rather have people that are interested in my content subscribe to my channel. And I only subscribe to channels that I'm interested in. So, but Autumn, stick it out. Okay, that's the best advice anybody can give you. Stick it out. Keep making videos. Keep doing live streams. Keep doing what you do best, and don't stray from your model. And it will come. It will. It will. I was late to the party, but I watched a phenomenal video last night of, does anybody remember really early on in YouTube history, the young lady who did the over-exaggerated girlfriend, or the I forgot what it was called. And I was a huge fan of hers, and I used to watch her stuff all the time, and she would like do all this creepy stuff where she would stalk her boyfriend, and it was all fake. It was all like a gimmick, and she really rose to kind of YouTube fame kind of quick. And she really just she gave up on it. She had a hard time thinking up new content and being creative and that sort of stuff. And it really took a toll on her. And she ended up, I saw last night that a few months ago, she actually stopped her channel. And it was kind of heart-wrenching. And if there's one thing you can take away from all that sort of stuff, is that YouTube, you can never look at YouTube as a business. You can't. It's a fun way to be creative. Anybody can do it. And you just need to stick to your model and just keep chugging along, and it'll come, and be happy about it. Be excited that you're on here, that you have a group of people that find your content fascinating enough that you want to stay, and that they want to stay, and they want to consistently watch every week. And just drive your fan base. And that's what YouTube is about. You can't think of YouTube as a business. Oh, I'm going to get rich. I'm going to make YouTube money and all that. If it comes, it comes. If it's great, it's great. Your model is batshit crazy? Well, then don't stray from that model. If that's, for some people that works. Okay. There was, Williams's model was batshit crazy, and it worked for him. So, just stick at what you do and have fun, and it'll grow. Exactly, Chrysler. Stick with your format and have fun. The minute YouTube doesn't become fun anymore, it's like any other job. You just don't want to do it. And if you're sitting in your room, stressing about, oh, I don't have a video this week. I don't have a video this week. So what? You don't have a video this week. If people are going to lose, people unsubscribe to your channel because you missed a week, then you know what? Then they weren't worthy of your channel in the first place. So my shrink is tried to help me stray from that model. Pills didn't work either. So guys, if you haven't already, if I can get you to, like I said, hit that like button, either the like or don't like, whichever you want. It's entirely up to you. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so. If you're interested in my content, if you're not interested in my content, you don't have to sub. It's all good. But Steven, are you still in here? If you're still in here, do you mind if I show photographs of your car? People think that the huge YouTube channels are the life of YouTube, and they're not. The small channels is what keeps YouTube alive. It's people like you and me and Chrysler and Wildside and Killer Whale and Island Life and Tree Trimmer and all these other guys that, you know, that they're on here every single day, just chugging along, and they enjoy it. They truly, truly enjoy it. I'm over subbing channels out of charity because I won't watch it. Right. And to be honest with you, you're hurting their analytics. I never dislike somebody's video or live stream. If I don't like it, I just move on, or not even hitting the like or dislike button. And that's a smart way of doing it as well. But Steven said I can show pictures of his car. So I am going to show pictures of Steven's. So let me see if I can find here. So Steven has a VW hot rod. It's like a dune buggy body with what I call like a top hat on it, which I think is kind of cool looking. I got some pictures for you. We'll see if we can. What's up, Dr. Fox? How you doing, brother? So here's Steven's buggy. See if I can get a. There you go. And from the front, it's got the face. The headlights have the eye covers. It's got a mouth on it. And it looks like it's grinning at you as it's coming down the road. I think I have a video of it. We'll play that again. So that's Steven's little buggy. Steven is a childhood friend of mine. We grew up like next door to each other. If I ever had an older brother, it'd be Steven. This is why I like your channel. I appreciate that, Wild Side. Cool cars, thank you. Cool car, thank you, Dr. Fox. It was my dream to collect retro cars, but it's ruined now due to this crisis. That's not true. It'll be over. Give it a good year. It'll be over. We'll be back at it. It'd be kind of freaky to see that coming at you in the rearview mirror. It's a cool car, though. It really is. And he loves it. If it's a beautiful day, it's out, and he's in it. What you say? I had a retro MX-5 convertible, beautiful, and the 66 Jaguar would be amazing. The 66 Jaguar would be absolutely amazing. I bet you kind of still wish you had that car. Ooh, did somebody hit you, or did you hit somebody? Thanks, Frank, my little bro. Anytime, Steven. Is the background music too loud, guys, or can you hear me fine? Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Fox. So last night, you and I were playing tag. I was playing tag again with Gary. Every time I jumped in somebody's room, I'd say hi. I'd sit there for 5 or 10 minutes. Nobody answered. I'd move on. I'd come back like 30 minutes later, and there'd be like a whole conversation going. But that's what happens when I'm at work. The X5, which I adored, loved to drive, I had a collision and lost my license. Okay. You lost your license? Was there some extracurricular activities going on while you were driving, maybe? Sorry, my phone keeps flashing here. Bluegrass Jam. Hey, brother, how are you doing? That would be telling a lot. Well, maybe a conversation for a different time. Then I was at work when I started it, and then things got kind of carried away. But I haven't. But I did watch on the Factory 5 YouTube channel. They are building a car again. I watched a couple of those episodes where they were. Hey, Michael's here. You're in, brother. Now we can get the rest of the family in here. But I was watching on Factory 5's YouTube channel. They were doing the gaps on a Cobra they were building on the hood and the trunk, and they cut the hole in for the scoop. So even though I've never built one, I enjoy watching the process because, you know, if something goes wrong with your car, at least you're learning how the whole thing goes together. So my cousin Michael's in the house, my cousin Philip is in the house, and my cousin Cliff is in the house. Welcome, my family. We're missing one cousin. And Cliff, thank you very much for, I heard you gave Michael a call and walked him through the process. And hopefully you did that to Stephen too, so I appreciate that. We are on lockdown here in Virginia, and as an essential employee, I still have to go to work every day. I go to work on my scheduled days. I don't work every single day, but everybody's on lockdown. You can only go outside to, you know, walk the dog or emergencies, get food, doctor's appointments, stuff like that. What's up, my brother? Might not see you in OC this year. You know what? That might not canceled yet. But I do know that Springfest, which is the week before Hot Rod Week in Ocean City, they did cancel that. So I don't know how big of a difference 5 days makes, but you got Michael on, so hopefully your brother can get Stephen on. People are losing their jobs and will probably lose their homes. Now, well, the government here is doing, I think, a really good job about making sure banks can't foreclose on people's houses during this time period. They're giving small businesses loans and things like that with no interest rates. I know a lot of the car dealerships are doing the same thing if you buy a new car right now. So But I just had my next door neighbor today get furloughed. So, for 8 weeks. So sure, hopefully the unemployment kind of covers everybody and gets people through it. But it is a tough time. If you're working, be happy you still have a job. And if you're not working, try to keep busy. That's why we're here on YouTube live streaming, to help people keep their minds off things. Even though we're talking about it, we're going to spin it to look at the positive side, and we'll try to keep everybody entertained. Governor saying May will be the peak in Virginia. We are in this for a couple of more months, I think. I think so too. I mean, everybody's saying that June is going to be like the peak, and then it's going to start going down from that point. So I don't know. But if the Maryland governor keeps Ocean City closed, then obviously there'll be no place for the hot rodders in Ocean City to go for Hot Rod Week. The restaurants will be closed. They won't let you gather in the parking lots and things like that. So, at that point, I'll try to get my deposit back. What's up, Dreamsicle? How are you doing? I haven't seen you in forever. So do you think the world will ever go back to normal? To be honest, I don't think it will. I think a lot of businesses are going to realize maybe they don't need such a big building for headquarters. I think a lot of people are going to start teleworking from home from now on. I think it's really going to change the way the world does business. I'm hoping America becomes less dependent on foreign countries. And, that way we're not looking to the country who caused all this to supply us with face masks. So now American companies are starting to alter their model and build face masks. And, hopefully some of those companies keep making that stuff. We're just too dependent on foreign countries. I've said that for a very, very, very long time. What do you think of military enforcement? Well, we haven't reached martial law yet in this country, so I don't think there's any enforcement. I know the National Guard is out there to try to help people, but I don't consider that to be, I don't think the National Guard is in the enforcement role. Did everyone wash their hands before they came in here? I actually did. You're good? That's good, Dreamsicle. Trump has been saying that for the last 3 years. So, I agree with you 1,000%. We need to stop relying on foreign countries for our goods. That's 100% true. When I grew up, the phrase was "Buy American." The job you save might be your own, and then slowly that kind of dissipated, and we became a more of a service provider country and not a goods provider country. And I think it hurt us in the long run. It really did. We don't really make anything anymore besides what little cars we make here. They're finding people sunbathing on the beach in Australia, $1,300. And you know what? As they should. No offense, I think they should be finding those people because they're definitely part of the problem. And they're not helping anybody, especially themselves. Okay. Bluegrass says, we do farming. We do farming. We do. And half the farming we do goes to other countries per our trade agreement. That's why if you take your orange juice, the oranges come from Florida, Mexico, Nicaragua, So, yeah, we do farming, but a lot of that farming goes to other countries, and then we swap out for the same goods from them coming back to like our country. I think that because it's all trade, but I'm pretty sure what we sell, say, oranges to, what we sell oranges for to Nicaragua is a hell of a lot less than we buy oranges from Nicaragua back to us. So I'm sure we pay a lot more than what we charge them. And it becomes hey, we'll help out your country. You buy our oranges for 50 cents a piece. We'll buy your oranges for $1 a piece, and you're making twice as much. So I've never been a big fan of that whole trade bullshit that they do. But that's just me. I don't think it's a hoax. I don't think it's a hoax at all. I think it's real. I think it's a biological weapon that China mishandled. And it got out and shit hit the fan. That's what I think. And in my opinion, the cars that are made today are cookie cutter. They are cookie cutter cars. They're, to nowhere near the craftsmanship that they were back in the 50s and 60s. Absolutely not. Your cars today are recycled soda cans. The raw material it takes to make something, they use less of it to make the same product, and they charge you more for it because it's all based on the bottom line. They are saying the coronavirus is nothing more than a common cold. I don't think that's true either. I don't think that's true at all. I think it's a lot more. I think it might have started off as a common cold, but I think it's been genetically altered to be a biological weapon. Your respiratory system, it's designed that way. That's just my opinion. But you think of them getting rid of cash. I don't use a lot of cash. I'll be honest with you. I use my bank card for basically everything. So I only keep cash for emergencies. I think I'm going to need it, but I use my bank card for basically everything. All right, Bluegrass. We'll still be here till probably midnight. So keep on coming back. And into the 70s. Cars in the 70s were also beautiful. Absolutely. So what happened to GM and the car manufacturers helping out with the situation since we bailed them out a few years ago? I think some of the car manufacturers are helping. I'm not really sure. All right, Fox, you go feed the rabbits. I'll be here. But like the My Pillow guy, I'll be honest. I know you keep cash for car deals, man. In the car business, cash is king. Well, in the used car business, cash is king. In the new car business, they want you to finance because they make more money in the end. Nobody wants you to. You're not going to get a deal when you walk into a place buying a car with cash. But like the My Pillow guy, I think it's great that American companies are stepping up to help out. Walmart's making pharmaceutical stuff. But the way that they treated him, because he said he made a couple of religious comments that people didn't want to hear or didn't like. But you know what? everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I'm sorry, I'm happy that we have companies in this country that are trying to step up and do the right thing. Well, so I'll be back. I got chores to do. Daylight here, sunny day. All right, Wild Side, I'll be here till midnight if you want to come back. I appreciate you stopping in. You have a great day. I know there's a big time zone difference in New Zealand, so I know a few people right now out buying old school because some people are desperate. Yeah, I can imagine that. I mean, now's the time for making deals. Trust me. If there's a car deal out there, my cousin Michael's already got the car. Ooh, hot. Okay, so let's move away from the depressing Corona talk. What else you guys want to talk about? Let's talk about what the hell we're going to do if Ocean City doesn't happen. Michael, did you guys already book everything for Lake George? Be careful you don't burn your goat. I love that ladder. And I will always consult cousin Michael when it comes to cash and cars. So actually, since the two of you are here, Michael, you might want to check out. No. Ocean City's not canceled yet, but if I had to guess, I'd say 99% that it will be. I'll find out more about it next week. But Michael, you should check out. And Joker, you could help me out. Was it a 55, that red and white station wagon? Was it a 55 Chevy that they had for sale? The live stream? Yeah, I know you just sold a 55 last Saturday. But Cruising Ocean City was just, it was the second place you stopped. The first place had all the Volvos, but the second place had the Trans Am, and then they had that red and white 55, I think it was. Let me see if I can find it real quick, because my cousin Michael might want to jump on that. Let me see. Okay, there's that. I saw the Mercedes convertible. Pause. All right, so Michael, you're not going to be able to hear it. There's a lot of wind noise. But if you're interested, I'll send you the link to this video. So sharp, sticky. Scale looks pretty nice too. Pretty cool interior, foldable back seat. It's nice. It's a little bit of work, but it's nice. Same as here. 13.5. So then, Michael, do you know this car at all? Needs a little bit of love, but I've never been a huge fan of these. I like So it was actually a 57. I'm sorry, it was 59. I think he said it was. So Michael, I just got a text message from your daughter saying that she's in the live stream, but for some reason she can't type, she can't chat. So if she's watching, are you signed into YouTube? You can only chat if you have a YouTube account. And you may actually have a YouTube account and not know it. If you have a Gmail, your username and password for your Gmail account will also open up YouTube because they're both owned by Google. So hopefully she heard that. And if she does, that's great. If not, shoot me another text and say, no, I don't have a Google account. I'm having a hard time keeping this one lit. Too much talking. Too much. Just sold a 55. Bought a Mercedes yesterday. So, Michael, what year convertible is the Mercedes? Actually, I could probably look it up if he doesn't respond. Yeah, no, I made it's an 09. Okay. Yeah, so I made a comment on your post. I'm pretty sure New York is on lockdown. Why the hell are you out buying cars? Oh. Essential business. Corona deals. You know what? You're probably right. Like they said, a lot of people might be out of work. A lot of people are desperate right now, trying to sell cars that they need the cash. There's deals to be made out there. Straight kamikaze is bad when you have an addiction. She does have a YouTube account, but she's on her phone. She thinks that's what the problem is. But I'm pretty sure Cliff is on his phone. And I'm 99% sure Michael's on his phone. Maybe not. But Kristen, if you can get it to work, we'd love to have you join the conversation. Oh. See? But everybody had a pretty good week. So, Michael, are you out of work? I know they probably closed the school, right? Or are you still doing maintenance on the building? And if you haven't already, guys, I'm going to ask you to please hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Choice is yours, whatever you like to do. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please subscribe. You say, oh, okay. Well, that's good. So did they have me on some kind of a crazy schedule too? So they moved my partner. They gave her a laptop, and she works from home. And then I work 2 days on and 7 days off. So I just worked Wednesday and Thursday, and now I don't go back in until next. And they're still paying me for my 80 hours, even though there's no way I'm making 80 hours in a week. Welcome to the live stream. We're just in here chilling, hanging out, having different conversations about things. Until when you got that schedule? Like, how long do I have it for? I don't understand the question, Joker. I started that schedule a week ago, and they had me on it until middle of April for right now. They're only laying out. You said you work for 2 days and off 7. How long are they offering that to you, or is that your regular? No, so that is not my regular schedule. My regular schedule is 2 on and 2 off, and they just keep bouncing back and forth just like that. But they've only laid out the next pay period. So the pay period ends not this Sunday, but next Sunday. And then they have it one more pay period after that. And they're just laying out the schedule one pay period at a time. So as of right now, they only have me on that schedule to the middle of April. And then when it gets to be a week out, they'll pump out the next pay period schedule. And hopefully it's still like that. But the only thing I don't like about that schedule is that my honey-do list has grown tremendously. So I have a list of things she would like me to do around the house, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So what? Absolutely. People are still breaking their windows. But I was talking to Todd the other day, and Todd said that they slowed his schedule down a little bit because people were just not replacing the glass right now in the cars. because I don't know about your state, but I know our state, they are delaying inspections by a month. So if your inspection sticker expires, there'll be no tickets for another 30 days. So they're giving everybody extra time to get their stuff done if you want to. So we get maybe another week if we're lucky. I don't know how we're still coming to work. There's a sign out front that says no new clients, no estimates, and they will close. We'll close the next 2 weeks. We're still allowed to have 8 employees. So, but hey, I don't know why they're doing that either, but to be totally honest, as long as you got a job right now and you're still working and you're still getting paid, I wouldn't argue the point. Wear your mask, wash your hands, wear your gloves, go to work, and make that money. Because a lot of people can't right now. Shop's not making no money, but we're getting paid. Well, maybe he took out a small. I know a lot of businesses took out loans, and I'm not exactly know who you work for. Maybe you. I don't know if you work for a small shop or you work for a small shop that is owned by a much bigger shop. So money may not be an issue. So I'd ride it out until they tell you we can't afford you anymore. Plates and inspections until further notice. Yeah, so New York is kind of doing the same thing where they're just relaxing that right now, so people can get their priorities in order. But he says he is, so I don't think I've ever seen your father use a desktop. He's always on his phone. Tell me it is not so. Oh, man. My cousin Steven finally made it in. The technology challenge cousin of the bunch, thanks to Philip, has made it into the live stream. I think I owe Philip a beer for that one. So, Mike, I don't know if you see Steven Smith's comment, but Steven Smith opened up his own glass business full-time, has his own van, has his own contracts, is doing everything on his own, is in business for himself now. So if you ever need any glass done, I have his phone number if you need it. I can text it to you, but so Steven, welcome to the live stream. So I have 4 cousins in here now, and there's 8 people total, so half of them is family. Now let's talk about Firebird Day. I know Steve. I shared it when you posted it. When I have something, you're the guy. There you go. Okay, sounds good. I got my beer right here. Ugh. So now we can talk about Firebird Day. Let's tell that story, okay? So, had to be so the story goes, I don't remember if it was in the 90s or the late 80s. So my cousin Philip had a 77 Firebird. Or was it a 79? I'm losing my mind. I believe it was a 77. And we were going to Englishtown, New Jersey. And as a joke, my cousin Michael told Philip that it was Firebird Day. If you show up at the racetrack with a Firebird, you get in for free. So my cousin Michael's got the truck and trailer with the race car in the back. And Philip is following behind him in the Firebird. All right, cruising. You have a good one, brother. We'll see you soon. I'll be here till midnight if you can make it back in. So when Philip rolls up to the gate, the guy tells him how much it's going to be. I don't know if it's $10 or $20 or whatever the hell it was. And Philip's like, but I have a Firebird. He was with us in the truck. All right, so then I don't know the story right. Oh, you told him to show his registration. So Philip shows his registration and he goes, but I have a Firebird. And the guy's like, okay, yeah, so? It was a good joke. It was a funny story. I have an aunt who has a condo in New Jersey. We are still telling that story 40 years later. So this is a good one too. So my aunt has a condo in New Jersey, and we were in New York, and my father and my cousin Cliff on the motorcycles. I'm on the back of my cousin Cliff's bike, and we're going to New Jersey to see my aunt. And what are the tolls on and Cliff is going to have to correct me. I'm assuming it was the New Jersey Turnpike. And going through the toll, my father drops his wallet after he pays. And you know how when you go through the toll, it's super wide. And then as you leave, it gets back down to how many lanes the road is. So my father pulls immediately over, and my cousin Cliff pulls over behind him going, what's wrong? And he's like, I dropped my wallet, or I dropped money, or he dropped a lot of cash, or whatever it was. And he's like, don't worry about it, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. And I got off of Cliff's bike, and I ran through like 10 lanes of toll traffic and got the wallet or the wad of cash, whatever the hell it was, and ran all the way back. And we still talk about that story the whole time. We spent the day in New Jersey at my aunt's house. And while we were there, it started pouring rain. And we wrap ourselves up in trash bags, and we get back on the bike, and we ride all the way back from Jersey to Yonkers in trash bags in the pouring rain. My dad's on his Yamaha 535 Virago, and my cousin Cliff's on his crotch rocket with me on the back. And it's one of those stories that will just burned into your brain forever. Your dad made you dodge traffic for $2. Yeah, that's about right. That sounds like my dad. So how are you? Are you still working? Do you remember ripping the hood off the 79? Oh, yes, I remember the hood. So that's another good story. Let's tell that story. So Stephen Smith used to live a couple of houses down from me. And literally 2 houses down. And I was walking over to his house. And Stephen, were you in the car alone or you were with Todd? And he's pulling in his driveway, and I'm coming up his front lawn, and I see him pull in. It was an old car. Don't get offended. It was a piece of shit, and we used to love beating the hell out of it. So, okay, Todd was in the passenger seat. So I go running up to the car, and I jump on the hood of the car. And he puts it in reverse. He backs out of his driveway, and he takes off down the street. And he's rocking it back and forth. And my legs are swinging across the hood of the car, and I'm holding on to the windshield wipers. And they're laughing, and they're giggling, and they're pointing. And he's got to be doing, I don't know, 30 miles an hour. And he tells Todd, watch this. And he starts really jerking the wheel, and I'm flip-flopping all over the place on the hood of the car, going down the street towards Michael's house. And he spins the wheel and jams on the brakes at the same time. And I literally fling off the hood of the car, and I have my hands out, and I land in the street, and I break my wrist. And no joke, I break my wrist here, and this bone comes up and slides over to my knuckles. And this is now like this thick. And the bone never came through the skin, but it kind of, like I said, it cracked here and slid over. And now this part of my hand is like this thick. And I go home and I tell my mother I fell off my bike. And we rush, and she takes me to the hospital, and they put me in like a Chinese finger lock. Remember those when you were kids? It's like a tube. You put your fingers in, and the harder you pull out, it tightens up around your fingers, and you can't get your fingers in. Well, they put me in that, and they're dropping 5-pound weights on my bicep, and they finally pull my bone and snap it back into place. But the moral of this story is that every time I fell or got hurt, I told my parents I fell off my bike. So when I bought my first motorcycle, I didn't tell anybody. But when my mother found out, her first comment was, "You can't even ride a fucking you can't even fucking ride a bicycle. Why the hell are you, you can't even ride a bicycle. Why would you get a motorcycle?" And that was the moral of that story. The moral of that story is, there's any kids in here, if you want a motorcycle, don't keep telling your parents you fell off your bicycle. And that is 100% a true story that 40 years later we're still talking about. I still to this day don't think my parents know how I broke my arm that day. Wow. As kids, we did a lot of stupid shit with a lot of really cool cars. I can't keep this cigar lit. Save my life. You just texted my father to tell him. I'm sure at this point in life, I'm sure he doesn't care. I'm sure he's, so did I. Especially when your bicycle didn't have any damage to it. I'm doing pretty good, Taco Gamer. How are you, buddy? How are you handling all this? So how are you handling all this Corona BS? You staying healthy? You washing your hands? You got enough toilet paper? Good. It sucks. It does suck, but at this point, we got to do what we got to do. Got to do what you got to do to make sure you don't bring it home and get somebody sick who it can be really fatal to. So Steve, if you're saying you're fucked because they told my father, you only fucked if my father tells your mother. Then you might be fucked. But I got to strip in the garage to go shower. I'm not sure what that means. So, let me see. I'm still having a side conversation with Kristen. I hope not either. I was really looking forward to going to that. Means when I come home from work, I got to go to the garage, strip, put on my robe, and then go shower. Yeah, you know what? And especially if your mother-in-law lives with you, then I totally understand that. Because you don't want to get anybody sick, especially if your mother-in-law has health issues. Stephen Smith already told that story to the family a couple of years ago. My mother could only shake her head in shame at me. Still not as a good story as me running around the front yard of your house while you shot me with the BB gun over and over and over again. Your mother got pissed at you about that. I'm pretty sure she took your BB gun away and broke it in half, or made you cut it like in half. That was a good story. The more I look back at our childhood, Stephen, the more we put our parents through hell. We seriously put our parents through hell. But you know what? There's a whole generation of kids today that don't have these stories, that never lived life like we lived through life. You know, we talk about video games and stuff like that. I remember my younger brother laying down in the driveway, and we would build a ramp, and we'd come pedaling down the street on our bicycles and hit the ramp and jump over my brother. And the smart thing to do would be to have his head near the ramp and his feet where we landed. So in case we come up short, he could spread his legs and the tire would land between his legs a little further out by his feet. But we would have him the other way. We'd have his feet by the ramp and have his head out where we landed. And we missed his head by like this much. Because our generation as kids did stupid shit and we survived that stuff. What's everybody call it now? Everybody call it free range parenting. I'll take that over being locked or being inside the house all day playing video games. I take that any day. And he was the smart he was the smart one. But at that age, he did whatever we told him to do. We used to take soda bottles, and fill them with lighter fluid and attach them to the bicycles by the back tire. And when you put the cap on, you used to drill a hole in the cap so it would leak out a little bit at a time. And we'd make a puddle on the road, and we'd light it on fire, and then we'd pedal the bike as fast as we could and have this flame go down the street following the bicycles, and to make sure we could pedal faster than the flame, than it caught up to the bicycles. I don't know how I'm alive. The stupid shit we used to do as kids, I really don't even know how I'm alive. Too bad Todd is not in here tonight. About the camper scare. We'll save that one for another day. Let's keep it. Yeah, I mean, we could tell that one too. So we used to have a pop-up camper, and during the summer months, we used to set it up in the backyard. And when we weren't on like the weekends, we would go out there and just kind of sleep in there and have a couple of friends over when we were kids, and we'd go in the camper and sleep over. So I had a couple of guys from school were going to sleep over in the camper, and I told Steven and my other friend, my other neighbor Todd, that around midnight, come over and scare us, like shake the camper and make noises and scare us. And I'd open the door, and as soon as I opened the door, somebody grabbed me and pulled me out. And then they can come in the trailer, because I had the two other guys in the camper, and Steven could take one and Todd would take the other one, and just scare the piss out of them. So 12 o'clock at night, we're out there, we're just bullshitting, we're in the camper, and start shaking, and the screaming and yelling outside. And I brought a BB gun with me in the camper. So I grabbed the BB gun, which the other two guys didn't know I had, which freaked them out immediately. I kicked open the door to the camper, and I'm like, who the fuck's out there? Who the fuck's out there? And Steven grabs or Todd, I think it was, but one of them grabbed the barrel of the gun and yanked me out of the camper. And then Steven goes in and gets, I forgot the one kid's name. I can't remember. But Todd gets the other guy whose name is Bobby. And he pulls Bobby outside, and they're rolling around. And they know each other, but Todd's got a mask on or something, and no one knows who he is. So they're just freaking out, and they're beating the shit out of each other, and they're laughing and giggling, having a good time. And Steven scares the living shit out of the other kid. I mean, I'm pretty sure he started crying. He thought he was going to die. It was funny. It was so funny. I wish Todd was in here tonight. If Todd was in here tonight, I tell the story about the ping pong ball exploding in his hands. Because that was a great story too. Making sure there's nobody else. That kid he probably does still go to therapy today. So the story with Todd and the ping pong ball was, we used to take, again, I don't know how we were alive, but we used to take the little firecrackers, the individual little firecrackers, and we'd unwrap the paper, and we'd take the gunpowder, and we would put it inside of a ping pong ball. We drill a hole in a ping pong ball. We fill the ping pong ball full of the firecracker powder. And you take a wick from the firecracker and put it in, and then you can use like wax from a crayon and melt it and let it drip on the hole, and it'll hold the wick and keep the powder inside. So we did that, and Todd lit it outside, and instead of putting it down, he thought he'd have enough time to light it and throw it, and as soon as he lit it, boom, it went off right in his hand. And he's lucky it didn't take his hand off. But when the ping pong ball broke apart, it cut his hand up, and he's bleeding. And he had this beautiful Monte Carlo. It was baby blue. It was just a beautiful car, and he wouldn't let anybody drive it. And he's bleeding. He's got his hand wrapped up in a towel, and he's like, we gotta go to the emergency room. And I'm like, all right, let me have the keys to the car. I'll drive. And he's like, no, you're not driving. Nobody drives my car. And he drove that. Me and him drove to the hospital with his hand out the window, bleeding. And that was another good story. Like I said, I don't know how we survived our youth doing half the stupid shit we did as kids. Well, that's enough excitement from me. I'm going to bed. Talk to you guys. Are you kidding me? Steven, it's 9:30 at night. You going to bed? Steven, you have a good night. I love you, cousin. Be safe. Tell Dominic I said hello. Why do you go to bed so early, dude? It's Friday night. Yeah, that's a different story. That's an absolutely different story. So, Steven, are you still doing a lot of car dealership stuff? Or are you doing a lot of private stuff? How are the car dealerships up by you handling all this? Are they still selling a lot of cars or no? Is it time for Mike to buy another car? Is that why he has to go to bed? Selling cars is very slow. Yeah. I'm waiting for all this to be over, and then I'm going to go out and buy a truck. Which also should be on Marketplace right now. There are better deals, but right now, but I just kind of want to. I don't want to drop that much cash financially right now, until I'm 100% sure that shit doesn't really hit the fan with all this stuff. Yeah. Like when we're over the peak and things are starting to get better, that's when I think like the car dealerships are going to really start pumping sales to try to get everybody back on track. Not to me by now. Yeah, I know, Mike. Yeah. So I want to get a 2020 Ford F-150. Kind of similar to the one that I borrow when I borrow the trailer for Hot Rod Week. Life's too short to be sensible. Truer words have never been spoken, Michael. Absolutely. But so, Michael, if they do cancel Ocean City Hot Rod Week, I think Cliff said that that Lake George is in September, like the week before Hot Rod Week in Ocean City again. So maybe I wanted to talk to you about, if you have the room, maybe I'll come up and go to Lake George and then come down and go to Hot Rod Week. Rick Bo's Rides. Hello from Texas. How you doing, Rick Bo? Thanks for popping in. Welcome to the live stream. Right. So Ocean City. Right. So Ocean City is in October. But I was thinking about maybe if you have space or have the room, if it's still on, and maybe I can come up to Lake George. That way it's something new. I can film. I've never been there for Hot Rod Week. I've been there for Bike Week. All right, good. We'll talk about it, because I'm going to call you probably tomorrow at some point, and talk to you about what our options are for Ocean City in May, because I have to put the final. I have to pay the balance on the deposit. I have to put the deposit. I have to put the final payment on the. I have to pay the final payment on next Friday. So I want to. If the town shuts down, they're willing to give me a full refund on my deposit, but I have to wait for the town to shut down. If I cancel before then it's me canceling and not them, and then I'm going to lose the deposit. So I got to figure out what I want to do. So I just want to run ideas by you this weekend, and then I'm going to call the rental agency Monday or Tuesday of next week, and then we'll see what they're going to do. Because I already have deposits down for Ocean City in May and in October. Absolutely. If I come up to do Lake George, I got money. I'm fine. Me? No, I don't need any money. No, I'm good. There's a 99% chance I'm going to get my deposit back, so I don't need any money. So, because before I left last October, I put deposits down on May 2020 and October 2020. So we're all booked and locked in. I just owe the balance a month, 30 days before the event. I owe the balance. So if we're going to cancel, or they're going to shut the town down, or the town is still shut down before we go, then they've already told me they'll give me my deposit back. But if we cancel too soon, then it's on us canceling, and then I would lose my deposit. But I think they're going to shut the town down. Right. We're not going to lose the room. We're not going to lose the room. I'm not worried about that at all. But if I do come down to Lake George, if I do come up for Lake George, absolutely, we'll do a cousin's dinner. Do you guys trailer the cars from your house to Lake George? Do you guys just drive them up? You're a little low on the Cobra there, Rickbo. You're a little low on the Cobra. You trailer up? Okay. All right. Yeah. So, because I got a trailer from here to New York anyway, so. And I should have the truck by then, so. So, Rickbo, how are you dealing with all this Corona stuff? You being safe? You being healthy? You still working? Everybody's got a Corona story. Hey, if they drive from his house to Lake George, I can make that trip. I'm not worried about that at all. It's just the day we go and the day we come back, the weather has to be perfect because I don't have a roof. So I'm not driving 3 hours in the rain. That's not happening. I like taking the trailer because I have a garage with me on wheels. That's right, Rick. You retired 3 days ago. Congratulations. You said that the last time you were in the chat that you had 3 days left. Stephen, if you don't know by now that my cousin Michael always has a for sale sign, as crazy as it sounds, my cousin Michael has sold cars before he actually purchased the car. Yeah. So, Rickbo, when all this calms down, do you have any plans for retirement? I know you mentioned something in the last stream. Never know what Mike would be driving past my house next. And that's the way it is. You got the time off, gas is super cheap, and you can't go anywhere. I know, but eventually it'll be over. Then you can just roam as you wish. Hey, Michael, speaking of which, here's the big question. I'm thinking about putting a supercharger in the Cobra. Would that be something you might be interested in helping me install? I know, Clef, do it. So I've done my research a little bit. They're saying that the supercharger that goes on top will fit, but you can't put the air cleaner on top of the supercharger. It'll be higher than you're going to have some hood clearance problems. So they put like a cap on the top, a flat cap, and then the air filters come down the sides. But I think doing the wrench part, I could probably do, but then tuning the car after that is probably beyond me. And since you are the experienced cousin when it comes to motor building, I figured that might be something you might be interested in helping with. I don't know how long it would take. If I had everything here already ready to go, is it a weekend job? Why, Stephen, would I want to put a supercharger on the Cobra? Because modern cars have a lot more power. And even though I'm half the weight, I'd still like a lot more. I just want the wow factor. When you open the hood and you see it. Hey, Familiar, how are you doing, buddy? Glad you stopped in. I appreciate you stopping in. I hope everything is well with you and your family. It's in Texas. Because I haven't had my car dynoed, but I know that year Mustang puts out around 300, being it's a stroker motor. I probably put out, my assumption, my guess would probably be with like 6 pounds on it. Hey, Todd, what's up, brother? How you doing? How's things out there in Colorado? Todd's got a really cool car, too. Todd, why don't you tell everybody about your car? So Todd's got this great little Austin Mini. And And his channel is really cool too. He does a lot of work on his car. He's also an avid runner. So being out there in Colorado when he runs, you get this beautiful scenery in the background and the landscape and the mountains. It's a really cool channel. It's a really cool car. Put a supercharger on the Doom buggy. I'm going to say no. How many horsepower? How many horsepower is your car, Steven, now? Like 74? If you put a supercharger on that, you're going to blow it up. But Michael says that they make one. Is that a question? Are you asking if they make one, or are you telling him they do make one? And I am out of beer. They do make a supercharger for the VW. That would be crazy. They do 400 horsepower to 450. Nice. So I don't know if they were here. Put twin hair dryers on it. So here's Steven's buggy. And here's it from the front with the eyes in the mouth. And here, this one's got better sound. So that's his car. Looking, I'm assuming that first two is not supposed to be there. Looking for 110 horsepower to 155 with a Pro Street Trans. Nice. That would make it super fast. Back up a tiny bit. They make a supercharger for the classic Mini 2. Get a new motor for the Malibu. So when Cliff told me it was a surprise on what car you were bringing to Ocean City, I first went, I got you, 210cc. I thought maybe you were bringing the Malibu to Ocean City. But then it turned out to be the 55 that you no longer have. No way. Oh, Michael's in here too. Oh, Washington Country News Station. Thank you very much. Oh, I appreciate that, dude. You didn't have to do that. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. We're doing well. How are you doing, buddy? We're just in here chatting about everything, chatting about cars, seeing how everybody's dealing with the virus and stuff like that. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I really do. Showing videos. Where's a video? Let me see here what I got. Is Mike with the Camaro? That's Mike in Ocean City tearing shit up with the Camaro. I'm trying to find one in my car here. Have you ever been to Mesquite, Nevada to the car show? I have not. I've not been. I've been to Nevada, Reno, and Vegas, obviously, but never been to Mesquite. And Stephen Smith, here's. You hear the cam in there? Turn the music back on. You ever been to that car show? Sounds good. Thanks, Rick Bo. I appreciate that. Honestly, Stephen, I've never. Let me see. Washington County News. Have you ever been to that show? Is that a pretty big show? Yeah, the problem with my car is because I didn't build my car. I'm the fourth owner car. But I do know it's a 331 stroker motor, and for when you hear it, I mean that cam thumps. Washington County, are you still in here? I have not had a complaint from the neighbors. I'm on the end of the row in my townhouses, so I only have a neighbor on one side that's connecting. And when I 6 a.m. or something, but I always try to do the right thing and let them know. I think I got more complaints when I used to start the motorcycle up than I do with the car. But nobody complains about the car because I've given everybody in the neighborhood a ride. So, you know, I mean, everybody knows I have it. I don't go tearing up the neighborhood, but I've never had anybody really complain about the car. Now we're going to smoke an Ashton Cabernet. Start it up and we'll see. Start it up right now. I think my wife would be more pissed off than my neighbors would be. The house does shake. Have you ever seen that video? It's totally fake. But where it's a split screen, there's a picture on top and there's a picture on the bottom. And it's actually video. And up, and the house shakes. And she's like doing this with her makeup and shit. That video is fake, but that's exactly what happens in my house. The whole house shakes. The windows start to rattle and stuff. So, and I don't have a choke. So when I start the car, I have to keep feathering the gas until it gets warm, or else it won't hold the idle. So that puppy's lit now. I have a 2-speed trans and 456 gears, so not good miles per gallon. Funny, Mike, I get 30 miles to the gallon. And you get 3 gallons to the mile. That's probably true. It's like a 4.6 earthquake. That's 100% accurate. Yeah. Is that just the gallons you brought? The 2-gallon drums that you bought? Because I know we used to run to the store, the hot rod shop, and have to buy more alcohol. So traffic in Ocean City gets so bad during Hot Rod Week that, you know, like on Friday and Saturday, to get from where we are on 52nd Street to the inlet, which is down like on First Street, it'll take you a good 20, 30 minutes sometimes, depending on traffic. So we were down at a show at Phillips on like 13th. And Mike wanted ice cream, so he went to go get ice cream in the Camaro and came back like an hour later, and traffic was so bad. And that like $3 cone cost him like $50 in fuel or some crazy number like that. But it was a damn good ice cream cone, he'll tell you. Yeah, that whole town is in. For a town like Ocean City that survives strictly on tourism, this is just killing it. It really is. They've canceled all the events up to the weekend right before Hot Rod Week. So, I mean, rentals are going to be hurting. I couldn't have sold my condo at a much better time. I'll be totally honest. So I think maybe next year there might actually be a lot of condos up for sale. But if they do cancel May, in October, it's going to be a madhouse. Because everybody and their uncle is going to try to get down there. And May actually is the 30th anniversary of Cruise in Ocean City. Yes. It's going to hurt everybody. It's going to hurt everybody. So they were really planning a lot of huge stuff for the 30th anniversary party. I know Jay Leno was supposed to be there on Friday doing a show at dinner. And I think he's already canceled. It's just going to be tough. It's going to be tough all the way around. But anyway. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go get another beer out of my fridge right here. It'd be a great time to buy another condo. It might be if, like I said, I think a lot of places are going to be hurting. The perfect amount of head. So, Bluegrass, you got any plans this weekend? I know we're under lockdown and not supposed to be out, but I might have to take the Cobra to the liquor store. Kill two birds with one stone there. I'm drinking a lime and Google, a grapefruit shandy, taking a few rides just to get out. Well, if you're out and about this weekend, let me know. We can go someplace essential so nobody gets yelled at. And we can take the cars out. I might spend a couple of hours in Haymarket at the cigar shop. If the weekend's nice. No, not Walmart. I'm not. I've taken the car to Walmart. But because I don't know, the weather here keeps changing. It keeps saying it's gonna rain, and now I think it says it's gonna be nice. So I want to film a little bit too, if possible. Yours is in the shop. What's the matter? Why is your car in the shop? something wrong, or are you having something done? So the weather for this weekend, Saturday there's only a 10% chance of rain, and Sunday there's only a 20% chance of rain, and Monday there's back down to a 10% chance of rain, and Tuesday is a 40% chance of rain. So the weekend actually looks good. I don't know. I don't think the recreation thing, from what I read about the governor's restrictions, I don't know about recreational driving. But you can always say we're going to lunch to pick up some drive-through. Axle seals leaking, lazy to fix it myself. County, it's going to be 75 degrees here tomorrow and sunny. So, Washington County, my assumption is by your name that you're in Utah. But you talked about the show in Nevada. So are you in Nevada or are you in Utah? And have you ever been to that show in Nevada? What kind of show is it? Is it huge? Is it just a day or is it a weekend? Like, is it a 3-day event? Can you tell us a little bit about that show? Yes, I'm in Utah. I go to that show. It's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, so it's a 3-day event. And it's all makes and models? It's a big show, all makes and models. I'll have to check it out. I'll check it out online. That's the slight problem with my channel, is that I've tapped everything, I think, car show wise, in a good 3 or 4 hour radius of me. So I need to start branching out because I'm starting to film the same shows over and over and over again. And I really need to kind of branch out and start to cover more things. That's why maybe this year, if they cancel Ocean City, I'll go to Lake George with my cousin Michael, and that'll be something new. And that's a multiple day event too. I think that's 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But he probably goes up earlier in the week like we do in Ocean City. So that gives me, I could film there. And there's a couple of videos I still want to make. Lake George is in upstate New York. It's up by Fort Ticonderoga. Five puts out a show in Ohio. I might want to go to that, where it's like all Factory 5 stuff. I don't know why he has it out there. So I'm trying to scroll back here, see where. So, Rickbo, if you're still in here, what kind of car do you have? Why don't you tell everybody about your car? I went back and saw you said you have a 2-speed transmission and 4. Where to go? And 456 gears. So, what kind of car do you have, Rickbo? Tell me something new. It's a good song. I gotta remember that. So, Bluegrass, if you're around this weekend and you want to go out for a quick cruise, let me know. Okay, you got it. I will, Mark. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. What do I have invested in the Cobra? Steven, that number should not be. That number is not for here. Steven, I just sent you a number in text message. But it's worth every penny. But the good part is, I only have a couple more payments left, and then she's all mine. And then if I don't pay attention, my cousin Michael will slap a for sale sign on it for me. Absolutely. And if you don't think so, always ask cousin Mike. Because those cars are so much fun. Great to look at, great to drive. They are. They are. No, I don't think I would. No, absolutely not. What I paid for that car is right on the money. What I paid for that car is right on the money. And the little extra I put into it when I did the interior over and the stereo. And that's basically it. If I throw a supercharger on it, I don't know. I might be able to get that money. That's true, too. It's not for sale. If I threw a supercharger on it, maybe I get that money back out of it when I try to sell it. Maybe not. And at that point, I don't care. That's just, like my cousin Michael would say, that's just cash in my pocket to buy something new. So there are other manufacturers. Stephen, there are other manufacturers that have tweaked the interior where they drop the floor pans and they give you a bigger cockpit where you might be able to fit in the car. Factory 5 cars are rather tight and small. But my cousin Michael has sat in the passenger seat of my car, and I've driven him around Ocean City in my car. But yeah, he can't drive my car because when you put your feet on the pedals, your knees will be up against the steering wheel. But Michael's been in the passenger seat, no problem. Right. So some builders have a stretch the whole car. So it all depends on what kit you're looking at. No, but Mike is probably 6 foot, though. Stephen, is every time you see one, ask if you can sit in it, tell them your story. I'm kind of tall. I don't think I can fit. And see if you can fit. And find the one you do fit in. Find out who that manufacturer is, and then keep your eye out. And my music has stopped. All right, so Gonna move the motorcycle closer. All right. All right. Get a little comfy. See if we can slide this over. There you go. Give you guys a better view of the car. So sometime this week, I want to film 2 new videos. One of them, I've never done a full video on my car. It's in the garage. I don't know if that's going to be possible. But Steven, there is a video. There's another live stream on my channel called Walk Around the Cobra. And you don't have to watch the whole thing, obviously. You just skip around it. But the car is outside. I walk around it with the camera. I start it up. And that's a good video for you to get a better look at the car. Right now in the garage, it's dark outside. You're not going to be able to see anything. The projected numbers for the dyno test on the Malibu. Thanks, brother. What I'm going to do is I'm going to film a video. See, so that live stream is so long. It's like an hour and change. And I'd rather film one that's strictly about my car. I can't believe I haven't done that yet, but I haven't done that yet. So I need to make a video just a few minutes long about the car, go over everything, the story behind it, and start it up and things like that. Yeah, Cliff, you can't talk numbers. People might see and then know what he's running. When they meet him at the line, they want to be quiet. They want to not know what's in there when Mike starts popping wheelies down the track. Didn't I do one in the old school? Not on my car. I did a drone video there where I just go around the car with the drone. That's mostly about the drone, but I never did a video about the car. I mean, I did a video there. Gimbal I bought. I went around the car and discussed the differences between filming without a gimbal and with a gimbal. But I've never actually discussed the car itself. Oh, you know what? What you're talking about, I think, is the video I made that Boosted Bill did of my car. He wanted to film my car, and he did a video about my car. But that's his video, not mine. Thank you, Stephen. But you've never seen it in person, right? That video that Boosted Bill did of my car, and we walked around it, he's got like 25,000 views on that video. So I definitely want to do a video about that. And since I have the time all week, so Michael, have you found out any information about why he's selling Jason's Mustang? Or do you know if he already sold it? Or is it still for sale? Well, Stephen, if I come up to New York for Lake George, we'll definitely I'll bring the car up to your house. We'll take your mom out for a spin. See if I can make her pee her pants. Yeah, so he is really cool with the drones. He's got some of the really super small ones, the high speed ones. He's really good. So he actually put me in contact with I guess he's friends with somebody who owns one of the local motorcycle shops. And he put me in contact with him, and they want me to film a couple of videos for them that they want to use for sales on the bikes at the shop. Like if you go to the website, and you see a motorcycle you like, when you click on it, a video pops up, like a 360 of the bike, and talks about it and all that sort of stuff. So they wanted me to film a couple of those for them, and then this whole thing happened and put like a hold on that. So we have to wait and see when. But he is really good with those little drone things. I talked to him the other day. He's teleworking. I think that's what he said. Oh man, oh man. You got it, brother. So, Cliff, has your package showed up yet? In the works, roger that. I thought I saw little Michael in here. Is little Michael still in here? There he is. So, Michael, so how have you been? Still working? Because I know they shut the gyms down here. So, are you still working or? Someone is using my name. Wow, you've been closed since the 16th. And how are the kids? And little Michael, if you could do me a favor, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. So anytime I post a video, you get notified. So is she doing school like through the internet, or is she being homeschooled? Online for the both of them. Wow. So teachers send emails with assignments in the teaching time they need to log in and watch the class. Wow. The scary part is if the schools realize that this works out pretty good, I wonder if they're even going to have schools. Everything could be like through online learning now, if they really wanted to. I bet you. I mean, you're right. I think the curriculum might be the same, but the experience, the socialization of meeting people and things like that is definitely not the same. True. They lose a lot of money. True. It is true. It's the FaceTime, the socialization, the making of friends, the just the public interaction it is worth them going. So what's in upstate New York, Michael? Or are you answering a question that somebody asked 15 minutes ago? Because kids would only be as smart as the parent helping them. And in some cases, that's not going to be so great. No, that's 100% true. That's 100% accurate. So, oh yeah, I already told him that. Michael must be buying cars because he's not paying attention to the conversation. That question was asked like 15 minutes ago. I know you're on Marketplace. I know you are. Wheeling and dealing. So are you going to keep the Mercedes, or is that you're going to sell it already? Mike bought another car through the chat. Mike bought a car, sold it, and bought another car while we're in the chat. Add moderator. Add moderator. not for your wife. For my wife? No. No, absolutely not. I wanted a Cadillac convertible, but Mike bought it and sold it before I had even left the driveway. Mike has done that with cars. Hey, Ross, how you doing? What's going on, brother? I didn't want to say that story. It's kind of a bad story. I'm doing well. How are you? Welcome. We're just hanging out, chatting about cars, making sure everybody's dealing with the virus pretty good. Thank you very much. Which one did I posted a few today, depending on what channel? Which one? The one about the Mustang? Yeah, I got you. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, it was a good video. Actually, my cousin Michael, who I talked about, who drove that car, is actually in the chat. So as we get new people in, Ross, we're asking them about your coronavirus story. Are you working? You're not working? Are you healthy? You taking care of yourself? How are you dealing with all this crap? Did 3 live streams today. First 2 rocked, the third was bad. 3 in one day is a hell of a day. How long do you keep your live streams at? I am working one job and getting paid in full from another. There you go. You know what? Then you're good to go, brother. Because a lot of people are not working, so it's good that you're still working. Very cool. 1 to 2 hours that's a pretty good stream. To do 3 in a day. So do you live stream? Do you live stream while you game? Well, I live stream chat, travel, gaming, video games. Well, hey, and if the first two rocked, more power to you, brother. Because right now, with everybody, I gotta check to see if I'm subscribed to you. Ross says what? Let me see. Very cool, Ross. I just subscribed to your channel, brother. For the first two, I got a lot of Europeans in my chat. I know a lot of European gamers, dude. They're in there with the time zone difference, so that's great. I appreciate you stopping in, man. Taking the time out of your day. Well, so I hang out in a lot of growth stream channels, but I really try not to do the whole subscribe back, since it seems like you're into cars and stuff like that. You could hit that like button for me too. I'd appreciate that. Or the dislike button, whichever you want to hit. Up to you. No, I got you. I got you. But you want to build your channel with people that are consistently going to watch videos. As much as I love the live stream stuff, as much as I love the growth channels, and I've become friends with a lot of people in those channels, the problem is they'll watch that one video, they'll like it, they'll make a comment, and it's great, and then you never hear from them again. So there's only maybe a handful of people that I've met in the growth stream channels that consistently watch videos and that are into my content. So and if you've been to my channel, I do a lot of car shows and how-to and spotlight videos on single cars and things like that. But because all the car shows have been canceled because of the virus, live stream is going to be my outlet for a little while, just to keep my channel alive. It is messing up a lot of things. It really is. So it's good that you're still working, because I know a lot of people are out of work. A lot of people are struggling. It's actually my second beer with no pee break. I do miss the car shows, but what a lot of people are doing now is, instead of having full-blown shows, I pay twice, don't ask where. You're not in the garage, Phil, are you? Are you smoking in the garage like me? So what a lot of people are doing, because there's no car shows, is a lot of people are just having cruises. Last weekend, a guy organized a cruise. A whole bunch of guys with cars met in the parking lot at the food line up the street, and they went on like they went on like a 100-mile ride, and it was great. There's the whole stream of hot rods going down the street, and they did the whole big loop and all. It was great. It was great. Absolutely. Philip's smoking a stogie, just like me. Same here. What, you smoking in the garage, Steven? Cheers. You're right. A car ride is still keeping social distancing. I was supposed to go on that ride, but it rained in the morning, so I didn't end up going. But he posted all these photographs online. They had like 30 cars show up. They went on, like I said, they went on like a 100-mile cruise down Skyline Drive up in the mountains. It was a beautiful day. You know, they stopped at some of the overlooks, and everybody's got their cars out, and everybody's equally spaced. And they just, you can still take your cars out and keep up with your social distancing. Because I don't think a lot of people are enjoying their 30-day free trial of socialism that much. But, surprised Michael hasn't said anything about my cup. Because he's not paying attention. He's buying cars. When is your car supposed to be ready? You bought and sold 2 more. Philip, have you tried that backpack thing I sent you yet? Just to see if it mounts on the bike? I got you, Steven. Okay, Philip. No problems. It's yours, no matter what. If you can't use it, maybe Cliff can. I'm still using the kickstand holder on the new bike. That's good. That's a good little thing. It saved me a few times. If you ever have to park on grass or in dirt, don't want the bike to sink in the mud. Well, I appreciate you all coming in here tonight. We thought about another? No. I still have the one bike. I'm sitting on it right now. The first bike that I built. But no, I think my bike days are numbered. My bike days are done. I got to get this bike up and running. Ever since I got the car, this bike has just sat. I have a new gas tank I have to put on it. The carbs are going to need a good working through. And if this was a regular bike, I probably would have sold it already. But because it's the first one that I built, I still have it. And I'll probably keep it forever. But yeah, I sold the bikes when I first got the car. The bike thing was just driving Kelly crazy. So I mean, I had 4. So I sold 3 and I kept the 1. I think my dad misses riding too. But he sold that bike as soon as he made it to Florida. He had it for like 1 year down there. And he said it was just too damn hot. Because he always rides with all his gear. He's got his leather jacket on and his pants and his full face helmet. And he doesn't want to take any chances. which I don't blame them with all the people down there driving like assholes. So, but it was just too hot. And then they wouldn't let him keep it where he lives. So we had to put it in a storage unit, and the storage unit wasn't 24 hours. So we had to have the bike back in the storage unit by a certain time, or else it was stuck and he didn't know what to do with it. So he just got rid of it, and he was happier. Yep. Yes, you did. It was a great little bike. He loved it. So the way that we have all my cousins in here tonight, Stephen, we got to get all of you guys in here. We got to get you, Todd, Ed, me. And I think that would be a great stream too. The stories we could tell would be just off the wall crazy. But I think I'm going to call it a night, guys. I appreciate everybody coming in here tonight. I think I'm going to try to stream again tomorrow. If I don't, I'll definitely stream on Sunday. Nobody else could have those stories that we have. We have some great, great stories. So, but got off all week, so I'll definitely try to stream again throughout the week. So have your topics ready to go, or just have another open chat. See if we can waste some time. Keep our mind off things, get our minds off work for a little while. If you haven't already, if you can hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. I appreciate everybody coming in. Have a good night. Be safe. Stay healthy. And that's it. We'll catch you next time on Bangin' Gears. Okay, guys? Good night, everybody. Sleep well. And we'll either see you tomorrow or Sunday. All right, guys. Have a good one, everybody. Good night.